Life has been around on our planet for about 4 billion years, as far as we know, but it might have begun shortly after the Big Bang, when the universe was quite different from what it is today. This earlier universe might have allowed life to develop in many places. It's possible that there are tiny and not-so-tiny aliens all over the cosmos. In this video, we'll explore two interesting ideas, even though they are not proven, but have some scientific basis. You can find more details in the scientific papers we've mentioned in our sources. To explain these ideas properly, let's start by looking at a puzzle about life on Earth. The Life Puzzle. In the first few 100 million years, Earth was a fiery place, constantly bombarded by asteroids. But once things calmed down and the first oceans formed, life seemed to appear almost instantly. Countless microbes found their way into every nook and cranny. This is quite strange, because life on Earth seems to be almost as old as the planet itself. It's as if it was patiently waiting for the right moment. And not only did life appear quickly, but it also made a significant leap. Andy F., you want to see more of this content? Subscribe now in the channel. To be considered alive, even microbes need to eat, excrete, grow, and reproduce. To do these things, they need a genome, which is like the instruction manual for living organisms. The problem is, for a genome to work, you need proteins. And to make proteins, you need a genome. Both proteins and genomes are made of complex building blocks that are very difficult to assemble by random chance. It's a bit like a chicken and egg problem, but more complicated. Once you have a fully functioning cell, everything works smoothly. But starting from simple, non-living matter and reaching such a high level of complexity by pure chance should take an incredibly long time for trial and error. So, how did the first living things manage to bridge this gap in just a few 100 million years? Most theories about the origin of life attempt to explain this gap by proposing how a primordial soup of prebiotic molecules could have efficiently produced the first self-replicating entities. However, we still don't have a precise understanding of how this would have worked. Perhaps we need to take a different approach. The evolutionary clock. Think of genomes as a book that tells the story of life. As time passed and life evolved, more characters were introduced, such as amoebae, fish, amphibians, dinosaurs, and mammals. Over billions of years, the story of life became more complex. A genome can be thought of as a long string of letters with biological instructions. From microbes to us today, it seems that functional genomes have been growing in size at a fairly constant rate. For example, the functional genome of fish is more than twice that of worms, and our functional genome is about twice as large as that of fish, and so on. It's a bit more complicated, but let's go with this idea for now. When we consider all these clues, it appears that genomes have been doubling in size on average every 350 million years or so. It's as if evolution has been following an exponential inner clock. But it gets even stranger. The very first microbes that emerged on Earth, despite appearing simple, seem to have had relatively long and complex genomes. How could life have become so complex in such a short time? One intriguing solution to this puzzle is to project our exponential clock backward in time, all the way to the simplest possible life form, something with a genome containing just a few letters. But if we do this, we end up more than 10 billion years in the past, which is more than twice the age of Earth. This suggests that if life evolved in this manner, it did not start here but somewhere out in space. This could explain why life thrived so quickly on our young planet. If it already existed in space like a seed, it only needed water and warmth to awaken and continue evolving. It would also account for the high level of sophistication of the first life forms on Earth. They could have been complex because they might have been evolving for billions of years somewhere else in the universe. But could life really be that old? Well, it's a possibility. In fact, life might have started shortly after the universe itself was born. A universe fit for life. Life requires two essential things: the right chemical elements to create complex molecules, and a liquid environment like water, where these molecules can interact. This liquid environment must also stay warm enough to remain in a liquid state. When we search for life in space, we focus on planets that are similar to Earth and at just the right distance from their star to maintain liquid water. However, there was a time when nearly the entire universe might have been habitable. Right after the Big Bang, the universe was incredibly hot. As the universe expanded, it cooled down. Between about 10 and 17 million years after the Big Bang, when the universe was much younger than it is today, it was at temperatures between 100 degrees Celsius and 0 degrees Celsius, the temperature range where water can exist as a liquid. So, for a certain period, more than 13.7 billion years ago, every part of the universe had the right temperature to support life. Of course, having the right temperature alone is not sufficient for life. We also need chemical elements like carbon and oxygen, which are created in the cores of stars. But were there stars during these early cosmic times? Perhaps yes, especially in regions where matter was densely concentrated. These early stars would have been quite massive and would have gone supernova within just 3 million years. This explosion would have scattered the chemical elements necessary for the formation of dust, asteroids, planets, and the building blocks of life throughout the baby universe. It's also possible that the first ancestors of life were different and didn't require water, but could thrive in substances like ammonia or ethane, which can remain liquid at temperatures below 0 degrees C. These life forms could have been sustained by the residual warmth of the Big Bang for tens of millions of years, even into a period when we know stars and all the required chemical elements were present. The fascinating idea here is that while the universe today is a harsh and inhospitable place, during this early period, conditions for life might have been widespread. For a period that could have lasted tens of millions of years, primitive life could have emerged on any solid surface, even in the vast spaces between the stars. This would have scattered the seeds of what would eventually become bacteria, trilobites, dinosaurs, and ultimately, humans. At some point, the universe cooled down beyond the right temperature for life to thrive. However, some of those early life forms might have continued to exist in the warmth of the first planets, frozen within asteroids, or hibernating in cosmic dust. Tiny seeds wandering through the cosmos, waiting for new hospitable places to continue evolving. If this happened, life could be scattered all over the universe today. Will we ever find out? All of this makes for a compelling story, but both the habitability of the early universe and the idea of an exponential clock of life are speculative theories. They are one of many attempts to explain our existence today. And if you are liking this kind of video, please check if you are already subscribed to the channel. If life did come to Earth from outer space, it could have also seeded other places within our solar system. Perhaps there are fossils in dry riverbeds on Mars, or we might soon discover life in the warm underground oceans of Enceladus or Europa. Titan, with its ethane and methane seas, rivers, and lakes, has environments as warm as the universe when it was 90 million years old. Finding exotic life on Titan could support the notion that life might have originated in the early universe. So far, as we gaze out into the cosmos, we haven't found any beings like us. But perhaps that's because life needed more than 10 billion years to reach the level of complexity required for a technological civilization. Maybe there are countless worlds teeming with microbes, exotic fish-filled oceans, and continents inhabited by strange creatures. There might even be other intelligent beings like us who have recently become aware of their existence, pondering whether they are alone in the universe. Life could be thriving in various forms and in different cosmic environments right now. If many of us share a common cosmic origin, we would all be part of a vast cosmic family. The answers to these questions may lie right in our cosmic neighborhood.